to do it, experience it, and see what the responses were. But let me share my screen and let's see what we've got. There's a few things that keep in mind and with your social media is that not every platform is for everyone. And believe me, I've learned the hard way. We hear about Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook and all these different things. And so we signed up for all these different things, realizing that, not that our people are not there. And we can't maintain all of it. It costs you to maintain the different things. So I really recommend for you to see, okay, research your competition, which means like who else is in the business like you, or who else has the audience that you're looking for, what audience that you're researching. And then that those people, where are they? Their people. So where are your eyeballs? Where are your avatars? Talk about your avatars. Where's your desired customer? What do you want more of? Are they hanging out with another women's group organization like ours is Women Professionals and Entrepreneurs. So we will find value in going. I'm also the board of NABO, so I find value of hanging out and see where they're at. I'm also involved in REN, was a chapter president for 3 years in San Diego. We're women in real estate, so I want to know where they're hanging out, where those people are. I'm also involved in the board with Real Estate Investment Goddesses, so I want to know they're in real estate, women in real estate. So I want to know where they're hanging out. So kind of look at other people that have the same tribe that you're looking for and then hang out with them, which means you don't need to do all of them. Yeah, so we tried all of them, and so because the worst thing is to do all of them and to not be active on them. And again, we find out that we're not that active on Pinterest or even Instagram, and so when you go there, it looks like a dead space because we're not active there. So my favorite is LinkedIn and then on Facebook. Those are two that if I had to choose, I'll choose those and be active there. LinkedIn because of the fact that they have more of my demographic. They have more corporate, more professionals, people that are $100,000, their demographic people that are $100,000 above. So there are people that are in business that are really trying to either do their own business or excel in the business that they're in. It's more business. Some people are on LinkedIn and not on anything else. But then Facebook, I love because it's more interactive. You have more videos, you have more photographs, you have Facebook Live. So choose your platforms, choose which ones that you really feel that your potential client or your potential enrollee, whoever you want to engage with, where they're at, and then work it from there. And then planning your management. So a lot of us just kind of wake up today, I'm going to do this, today I'm going to do that, or tomorrow I'm going to do this, and it's pretty spontaneous. It's really advantageous to create a baseline. Like you can use Hootsuite, you can use Buffer, where that even if it's just something as simple as like on Motivation Mondays, on every Monday you have a motivational quote, and you schedule it with those. So you put it in the schedule and you schedule it so that it just goes automatically. That way, if things happen during the day that you want to incorporate, it's that you got a baseline that's there, but you're able to bring in the new things that are happening now. So you don't have to. So that way you have some consistency. So on Tuesday, maybe you have something else. I spoke about doing things in banks, creating banks of information, like doing videos and doing podcasts and doing articles, doing 6 or 10. I kind of go into a weekend or to a day, so I'm going to do this many of them. And then I save them, bank them, and then put them in my schedule so that every so often I'm seeding them or I'm dripping that information. So I don't have to do it every day or be as, be as involved or active. You should, and the more you give to it, the more it's going to give back to you. But create a schedule. This says create a budget. Are you going to do it all organically, or are you going to create a budget that you're going to spend for being able to boost your posts or be able to get social media ads, or Facebook ads, or LinkedIn ads, or Google ads? The more again you invest in your social media, as in your business, the more return you're going to get, and it works. I mean, you think that some people say, well, $100 or $500. Some people spend $100, $100 a week. We had a young lady that came here from Switzerland, and her boyfriend had a company, and their company is where they teach. They have an online course for how to take photographs with your iPhone, and it's something that you think that iPhone should have done themselves, but they didn't. And so the course is like 8 modules, and they change. I think it's changed. They change out a module, and they record like every 3 months. They would do a new version. Well, that course is only, I think it's like $9.97. It's like $10 for the course. No, I'm sorry, $9.97. So it's $100 for the course. And again, they have different parts of it. But they spend a couple $100,000 on Facebook ads a week, and they're making millions of dollars. So even at that price point, that low price point, They're spending that millions of dollars. Because we tried to do the math. I said, well, if you're spending a couple $100,000 a week on advertising and you have that product 100, we had to try to figure out how many they had to be selling to be able to profit, to be able to put money into their, their operations to be able to spend just that on advertising. So again, put a budget aside, increase it as you get the business, and then take it from there. And then optimize it. Also engage and network. That's the kind of the hard part for some people because it's being able to stay engaged because you have to be able to respond and then go into, to respond to people's posts and just be engaged and network. You actually utilize it. So the best way I know to do it is to set aside a time, whether it's once a day, whether it's 15 minutes a day, a half an hour a day, or whether it's an hour a week. Set aside a time, put it in your schedule. This is the time that you're going to consistently sit down and play around because it's something that you can go down the rabbit hole. I've gone and 3 hours later, you've watched all these videos and all these things, and you're like, so you really have to kind of put a cap of time on it and say, this is what I'm going to do for this, and just be as engaged as you possibly can because it can work and you can get your return on your engagement. And I think that's even more importantly than even the money that you spend. Is your engagement is going to be more important. You spend throw a lot of dollars at it, so your engagement is going to make the difference. So keep that in mind and work with that for your social media. And we create content so that we can share with our social media. And so utilize and maximize your photos and videos. So again, if you're taking photographs or if you're doing videos or podcasts, that gives you things to be able to share. And it's easier. Do that podcast, do that video, share it, schedule it, and you're gone from there. Also, there's a value of groups, joining groups, growing groups of your like-minded people where your avatar is, where your eyeballs are. So what do you want more of? Ask yourself that question all the time. Do you want more professionals? Do you want more accountants? Do you want more nurses? Do you want more, do you want more creators? Do you want more people that art and in arts? What do you want more of? And go and join those groups and be able to stay active with those groups. And you can also create events, creating events on social media. That way the events, people know about your events and they get notified when you do schedule it. So you've got additional people. And then the articles, the same thing, your articles, share it, your articles. And the really magic, in Power 7 is that, we do the article, but all the things that we're posting, there's either an affiliate in there where it monetizes it, or there's a sponsorship that's sponsoring a series of what you're doing, or we have a program we called Clarity where people can want to know more about what you're doing and they can click it and then they can schedule time with you and they pay for it. They pay for either $1 a minute. Sometimes we've shown where people are paying a couple $100 a minute, depends on what we're offering. So utilize these opportunities to be able to engage people and actually, engage them, enroll them into your service. So you can offer services and monetize your time and effort, and then again, create connections and direct them to the point of purchase. So, that's what's going to be important, with your social media. And it's just something that's big. And again, most people, as they grow, they have companies. We've had companies do our social media, and then we've actually had some that we're doing ourselves. So, a lot of you have been asking about the Power of Seven program. So, I'm going to share a little bit I shared it yesterday, but I'm going to recap it because some of you were thinking about, they weren't sure about this and that and so forth. Some of you have taken the Power of Seven already, but you said, okay, now I really think I got a lot of information, but I want to move the dial. I want to make a difference. I really want to actually make that $100,000 right away that you talked about that people are making. You're here tomorrow, people that are making millions of dollars with this content marketing, graduates from the Power of Seven, and so forth. So let's go through it again. First thing we do is we start with a strategy session. This is our online course. Before, everything was in person, but a lot of people, again, have taken it already. They say, you know what, I want to be refreshed. And I just want to hear over and over again what you said and what you were talking about. And so they can take the online course. We have a strategy session where you are now, because it's important to know where you are now and where you want to go so that we can create a roadmap as far as being able to get there. So that's really important. So that's a private one-on-one session with me. Then you'll learn how to become a published author. You'll know what mediums are best for you. Whether it's a blog, whether it's articles, whether it's a book, whether it's a magazine. I showed you how you can do an e-magazine. So you'll know what medium you'll be able to share your written word with. Your podcast, what's your style of podcast? Are you going to do an interview style where you interview people? Are you going to do one where you just deliver information consistently? Are you going to do it with 3 or 4 different people, or 2 people, or your family, or friends, or experts? We saw where there are people that do it with they talk about different things. We saw people that it's all a list of people that do it all different ways. So in the Power of Seven, we will refine that so you know exactly what you want to be talking about. And then the videos, what kind of videos are you going to do? They showed demonstrations this week about you can do it as a interview style where you're just interviewing one on one. We showed you where you can do like a panel style where we had 3 ladies and we did take five. It's a 5-minute video, which will work for us, work for them. We had opportunities where you can do it, again, you can do it like the red top table, like Willis Smith is, Jada Smith is doing it. And you see all these different things. What style works for you, and what style is going to work for your potential clients? And then you'll hear about joint ventures, how to create joint ventures. What do you say to joint ventures? One lady asked the other day, "Why I'm just starting, I have a small list. So how do I present myself, or what value would someone really big have in being part of my community?" Well, we'll go through that. We'll go through the joint ventures, what one are best for you, the affiliates, affiliates, how to find affiliates, how to use affiliates effectively so that it's not, splash, 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 but you can actually use affiliates where, that it's supporting what you're doing and it's a natural partnership that people see. Sponsors, how do you get sponsors? I mean, there are sponsors all around you. There are people all around you at your fingertips that would be willing to sponsor you, and being able to, how do you present a package to them? How do you create that? And then events. What kind of events should you do? Should you do webinars? Should you do seminars? Should you do summits? Should you do, um, you know, live 1-day events, 5-day events, weekend events, monthly events, wine tasting events, instructional events? What kind of events will support you in being able to manifest your dream and what you're doing? And then products, programs, services, like we talked today. Like, how do you create the product? What kind of products to give you um, all the information that you would need deeper than we discussed today, because we only have so much time together. But I'm giving you the idea of what you can do. The online course tells you how to do it. So you'll be able to learn those details and services, and then social media. But what's another thing that's really valued, that's often under is the Golden Rolodex. We will give you a whole list. It's over 100 different resources that you can use to be able to. Where do we get our audio done? Where do we get editing? Where do we get transcription services? Where do we get merchant services? Where do we get, CRM systems? So it's a list of all the things that we've used, and that people have highly recommended for us to use. And then my favorite part is our lifetime marketing mastermind that we do every week. And that's like a $6,000 value, as I talked to you about in masterminds, and some of them are $100,000. So to be able to have access every week, we've been doing it for over 12 years. They have a mastermind, and because we learn more, new techniques, new ideas. We connect with each other. We share. Sometimes there's good weeks, good bad weeks. We at least be here to support each other. So that's huge, because that's that accountability and that's that connection. And then we have a private Facebook book where we archive our recordings. We'll archive this event in our private Facebook group, so that you'll be able to go there and have access to it. And then you get a homework membership. A homework membership is $497 value. And in that homework membership, as a member of homework, you get the mastermind, but you also get a private one-on-one interview with me, a podcast interview that we share with our community. You also get a private one-on-one video interview that we share. And the interview style is much, much, much more valuable than just going on there and doing an ad. People are actually asking you your position